Guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you again today for the Zayn's new album, Icarus Falls. So I'm going to go through this album review and discuss on it and let you know what I thought about it in my own words. So let's hop into this review. Now, this is his second studio album, and I really did enjoy his first album, Mind of Mine. That album was really good, and this one, to follow it up, was decent. I thought the first four songs were very good. Let Me, Natural, Back to Life, and Common were splendid tracks. I thought Back to Life was my favorite song on this record. But when it got to Imprint, it started to kind of be a bore. Well, it was starting to. It wasn't a bad song, it just was lacking the right touch to be entertaining. And most of this album will kind of bore you. When you get through the first half, it just gets pretty boring. Like, after track 4, you just start to get lost with this record, and you just lose enough love to really like it. It's just, I didn't click very well with most of the boring tracks like Imprint, Stand Still, Flight of the Stars, If I Got You, Icarus Interlude, which really sucked. I thought Icarus Interlude was the worst song on this record. Good Guy, You Wish You Knew, Satisfaction, Scripted, All That, Fresh Air, Rainberry, Insomnia, Fingers, and those are mainly the boring tracks that you're going to be expecting. When you listen through it, mostly your expectations are going to be high when you think it's going to be good. Which, in my opinion, I thought they were just flat out boring. That's just me. You guys might think differently, but I just felt that this album was overproduced and had a lot of filler songs to offer. It had a lot of tracks to offer, but it just was overproduced, and they added too much filler in the songs to really make it entertaining. This album just has its boring spots, but the first four tracks were very good. But when it leads up to the singles, they start to do better. Like, Talk to Me was pretty good. Good Guy and You Wish You Knew were pretty good too. I might have mentioned that they were boring tracks, but they weren't. I don't know if I did, but you might have to remind me in the comments. When it leads up to Sour Diesel, it gets a little better. And when it leads up to Entertainer, it starts to climb and do a little better. It's just when it mostly hits the single songs that we've already heard before getting this album released, they start to do better. But most of these tracks are pretty boring. I thought they were pretty boring, most of these tracks. But they weren't bad. They just lacked enough quality, or not a lot of depth into the songs. Like, the sound and the tone of the songs were just... they didn't do enough or try a little hard enough to make it entertaining, which I think his intention was to mostly make it a nice soul R&B kind of album, which I don't diss him on that. Zayn, I don't diss him on making this record or how he wanted to go about it, but this album isn't that bad. It's just it first time listening to it, you're gonna mostly be a little bored with it. But when you listen to it again, it starts to grow on you. But I thought this record was just decent. And out of 10, I'd give this a 7 out of 10. But like I said, when it hits the singles, like There You Are, Sour Diesel, Entertainer, Good Years, Rainberry, No Candle, No Light, Fingers, Too Much, Dust Till Dawn, and Still Got Time, they start to do good. They start to pick up and get back on track with, instead of the boring tracks, they start to do a little better, and their step ups from the previous tracks that may have been boring or whatever. It's just, I was coming into this album hoping it'd really be good and one of the albums of the year, but it's not. The final act of this album was very good, I thought, but when it led to the first half of the album, like from 5 through 13, it was kind of boring. And then after that, from 14 through 20, it did a little better. But when it got to Good Years all the way to the end of the album, to 29, it picked up, but it didn't deliver well enough to entertain me. But out of 10, I'm giving this a 7 out of 10. That's just my opinion. You guys might think differently, but that's okay. But comment below, let me know what you thought on Zayn's new album, Icarus Falls, if you've heard it. Tap a like on this video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you want to. I will be returning to you tomorrow or the next day for the Crazy 88's new album, Burning Alive review. So definitely stay tuned for that. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I'll see you in my next one.